Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're going to do a video on updating you on where we are on Bison Workshop, finding a new place to live and work. And we're going to show the plan that I have for the Defender. This is the AEA Defender 357 smooth bore barrels. And before we get started, don't forget to have your Trump coffee. If you ain't got your Trump coffee in your hand, I'll wait. Nah, just kidding. You know, when you come to watch my videos, you know to have that Trump coffee in your hand. So if you ain't got it, it's your fault. So let's start off by showing you the plan for the Defender. Now, I have found two problems with this gun. It is a nice gun. It fits your hand nice. It is a little bulky up here. This part right here should have been cut down to about right here so that the barrel stuck out from the end. And we're going to try to fix that. We're going to try to fix the rifle part. Now, if I had a rifling tool, I could probably rifle these barrels. But I don't, and they're a little difficult to use. So what I have done is I've contacted Pete over at AEA Northeast, and he sent me this barrel that was somebody's really destroyed, and there was something wrong with it, but the barrel itself is okay. I don't remember what he said was wrong with it, but regardless, somebody had sent it back to him and he replaced it. So this was an extra barrel. I don't know if it was because of the scratches. I can't remember what he said, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The goal here is to get 4 barrels out of this that will stick out past the barrel band that I made for this Defender. We would like for that barrel to stick out about yay far, just enough that it protrudes out the end of my barrel band. And I've measured this thing, and that's not going to happen. This is a 24-inch barrel, and in order for me to get 4 barrels out of this, I can only get 2 barrels the size that I would like to make them, and then I can get 2 barrels the original size, which will come to that point right there. My barrels will come out here, which will be 28 millimeters longer. So the only way to get 4 barrels out of this is to make 2 of them the same size as the original, which will fit the original Defender that was shorter here. So I can get 2 of those, and I can get 2 the size that I would like to make. So this barrel here will work for making 4 of them, 2 at 128 inch or 128 millimeters long, and 2 of them at 100 millimeters long, which is what the original ones are. They're 100 millimeters long. Well, I've measured, and if you notice, we have this air stripper on the end of it, and I'm not sure how those come off. It looks like somebody has tried to unscrew that and or unsuccessfully. I thought these things screwed on and off, but we're going to find out. But regardless, what I'm going to do, since I'm making the barrels for my gun doesn't matter if this part is on there or this little groove is in my barrel. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to cut this off right where the first O-ring is here, and we're going to leave this in the first barrel. So this one here will be one of the long barrels at 128 millimeters. Then we will come to the other side and get this air stripper off and maximize it by another probably 20 millimeters here and get as much as we possibly can out of it. Yes, it's not going to be the exact same size as the barrel, but we're going to leave that part on there too. Now for my barrels, it doesn't matter. Now, if I was to make these for other people, it wouldn't be that case. We would have to get a 32-inch barrel so I can actually cut your two that are perfect. But for me, it doesn't matter. For the simple reason, this affects it in no way at all, that little notch. It doesn't matter to me if that notch is there or not, because when I go to put this barrel in, I'll thread this side, the side that's cut here, I'll thread this side to thread into your cylinder, and it will stick out like that. And as you can see, that notch is behind or underneath the barrel band that I made, so you'll never see it. It's never going to affect the shooting of it. So that's what we plan to do. That'll be for my gun. So my gun is going to have this notch in it and this little drop down on the end. And both of them are going to be, I can probably thread this one and put it in there, and this one won't have a notch in it. But then the rest of it will be in here, which will be, I can get two of the short ones out of it. These will be the perfect barrels. Those two I'll be sending to AEA Northeast, to Pete, as a way to say thank you for sending me this barrel and two of those cylinders. He sent me two extra ones so that I could have a quicker reload when the time comes. So now I'll get started on that. But before we do, let's talk about the move. And it's probably going to piss some people off. And at this point, I don't care. And I know that's sad to say, and I really, really, really do not want it to come to this, but I have thought long and hard, and then I thought long and hard again and again and again and again. If it comes down to the last minute where I can't find a place of my own that I can buy, I'm not renting no more. If I have to rent, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm getting tired of being kicked out of my house. I'm getting tired of greedy landlords. I'm getting tired of worrying and stressing over where I'm going to lay my head next year. That's not a life I'm prepared to continue. And I'm not going to. So, yes, I could probably sell all this stuff at an auction, but if I sell everything in an auction, put it this way, I've probably got $40,000 to $50,000 worth of tools, machinery, hand tools, mechanical tools, welders, grinders, vices, presses, you name it. I got it all. There's not a job I can't do. There's not a job I don't have the tools to do. Except for a frickin' rifling tool. But anyway, if it comes down to that point, then I have nothing to lose anyway. I'm not going to get $40,000, $50,000 out of my stuff at an auction. This lathe would probably, somebody would probably get away with it and drive out my driveway and only pay $200 for this lathe. An auction, you're just giving your stuff away. I might get $200 out of the meal if I'm lucky. I've done a lot of work to this stuff. I worked hard for this stuff. I'm proud of my stuff. But if it comes down to the point where I have to sell all my stuff at an auction and I have to sit on my porch and watch everybody grovel over my stuff and leave out of here laughing to the bank because they got a $2,500 lathe, and that's what this lathe's worth. This lathe, I could probably get $2,500 out of this lathe as it sets. Cleaned up, of course. It's dirty right now. But I proved what I can get out of a lathe. I got $2,000 out of my Atlas lathe, and that was with no legs. And if I'm going to sit on a porch and watch people do that and take advantage of me, I'm not going to do it. So for me, it's worth it to destroy it. And I know people are fucking shaking their head or saying you're stupid or you're doing this. Yeah, it probably is stupid. But it's going to be a satisfaction for me to leave here with no money than to give it to somebody else and let them reap the benefit that I worked hard for. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Ask my son what happens when I get pissed off. I lose it, and I will lose it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to bring my grinder in here in this shop, and I'm going to cut this lathe in several pieces. I'm going to bust this head all to pieces. Everything on this thing will not be usable. Nobody will ever use this lathe again. In fact, this is probably the last time I'll be able to use it if I don't find a home. So that's what's going to happen, guys. You mark my word. Take that to the bank. If I can't have it, nobody else is going to have it. Yes, it sounds selfish. Yes, it sounds stupid, and it is. It is very selfish, and it is very stupid. But I need to walk away from here knowing that nobody else is going to reap my benefits. It ain't going to happen. So keep that in mind, guys. You know, it bothers me. It really freaking bothers me that I have 4,300 subscribers and only 13 of them care. I am in awe with that. I just cannot understand that. That makes no sense to me. And, you know, I watch these other channels that do the exact same thing I do. They even hint to somebody they need help with something. People are ready to throw their panties at them. And they make millions. Because their subscribers genuinely love them. I don't feel that love. I feel that love from 13 out of 4,300. Well, that's a big difference from one to the other. I don't even think that's a 0.5%. If that. Add it up, guys. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these down on the bandsaw, and that'll probably be the last time it gets used too. I haven't been in this shop in so long that there's actually spider webs on all my tools. I don't see any on this one, but the mill and the drill press, it's covered in spider webs. So anyway, drink your coffee and we'll be back. All right, so now guys, what I've done is I took the air stripper off, and yes, it does unscrew. It's hard. They put some thread lock on it. Looked like some white stuff that was on it, and the threads was about that long. Yeah, I'm shaking, sorry guys. So I cut the end of the threads off of it. So I cut this much of the threads off, which is about 5 or 6 threads, and shortened it to match the original barrel. And yes, they are already, the air stripper is already threaded the same size that threads into your cylinder. So now we've got that prepared. I wish somebody hadn't scarred that up, but this is going to be my barrel, so it ain't going to matter what it looks like. And I'll have that straightened up. I'll sand it and re-blue it and make it nice. So now we've got it cut off, and so now we're going to take and flatten this, or face it, and crown it. So we'll do that. Now, as you can see, before I get started, that's how much longer it is. So now we're going to crown it. And it's probably not going to be the best crown in the world, but it's going to be a crown. And you want to put your work in as close as you can to the chuck so you don't have a whole lot of flex. So what I use is this blade here. And the reason I use this blade is because it's angled, and it's got a stick off on the side of it here, a little sharp edge on the end of it, so it passes all this right here, the tool. So I can cut just a little bit off of that with this little corner. So that way I don't have to keep changing the tool. So we'll go ahead and get started doing that. Alright, so now we've got now that we know we got this part done, and yeah, that thing's messed up a little bit. We'll have to probably put it in a lathe here and just kind of sand that down a little bit, get rid of some of them marred marks where somebody had put a pair of channel locks or something on it and it slid and it kind of made some little dimples. But we've got this part done, and we're going to put that in here, and we're just going to take a little chamfering tool here, and I made this thing out of a drill, cordless drill, and put this handle in there, and we're just going to just clean it up a little bit. Until you feel smoothness. So that way the pellet will go in there nice and easy, and it won't destroy your pellet. So now we'll clean that up, and she looks pretty good. She feels good. She feels smooth. And then I'm just going to take a little piece of sandpaper and just finish it off a little bit. Alright. So now we will get to turn it around. Now I've already faced it. I've already chamfered the outside edge so that it's not so sharp and cut you. So we're going to turn it around and put that in there. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're just taking, because you can feel it cutting. And after it gets to where it's hitting the whole surface, you can feel that it gets smoother. So that's basically all we need to do. Alright, now we're going to take the sandpaper and we're going to do the same thing to that. Alright, so now we've got that done. Now we're going to take and remove all this here marred up spots, because this is going to get re-blued, so it don't matter. So we're just going to take and put that in there, because all this up here is good. It just needs to be, I can just hand sand that and make it nice and smooth. So we'll just go ahead and put this in here up to where we need to. And the first thing I'm going to do is take the file, and we're going to file that to where it's down flat. Until now remember, this is my barrel. It ain't going to matter. It's got some pits in it, but it ain't going to really matter to me because it's still effective. It's still going to shoot just fine. So now we're going to take and sand it. So now we've got it sanded on that side. Then we're going to turn it around and do the same thing to the other side. And before anybody says anything, before anybody says anything. Yes, it is wobbling, but that's because I just don't have it in the chuck like it should be. I didn't do a whole lot of shaking on it for it. It's straight. See, it's a little bit straighter now. So now, this barrel is done except for bluing. Now, like I said, it's got a bunch of pits in it from where somebody had taken a pair of channel locks and made some pits in it, but it's smooth. So once you blue this, you're not going to see a whole lot of that, and it doesn't really matter. So we've chamfered the inside of this, we've chamfered the outside of this, and yes, guys, my fingernails are long. I've been neglecting them, and I don't really care if anybody thinks I have long fingernails. It's nobody's business. So now, this is my barrel, which is not blued yet. And this one is the original barrel. So now we've got the Defender here for our test. And we're going to put that in there. And we're going to put the original one in there. And we're going to show you the difference. That looks a whole lot better. In fact, I actually kind of like the silver better than I do the black. But if you leave it silver, it's going to rust on you. So we don't want that. So I'm going to have to go with black. And I'm glad that I didn't make a whole lot of these barrel bands, because for some reason the barrel band won't slip on there. It makes no sense to me, because when I measure this with the mic or the calipers, the Challenger barrel is actually a tenth of a millimeter bigger or smaller than the original. So this fits the original just fine, but it don't fit this one. So I'm in the twilight zone on this one. So that's the barrel that I plan to make. I'd love to be able to make these for you guys, but like I said, if I lose everything, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is just a plan in hopes that something works out. Now, like I said, I'm not going to stop looking. I'm still looking for a place. I've got other people trying to help me find a place, and I have a co-signer who will help me buy a place. I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody is going to co-sign for me to be able to buy a house. So it's just a matter of finding one. And around here, everybody wants more than what their property is worth. I looked at a house yesterday. It was a mobile home. It didn't have no building on it, no shop, no nothing, no garage. It's just a trailer, and the trailer looked pretty beat up. Needed new windows put in it. The siding needed to be replaced because it was cracking all over the place. The underpinning needed to be replaced. The only thing it had going for it was the fact that it was a nice little piece of land, and it was like an acre or something with it. Then I looked at another place that they wanted $39,000 for, and said they would take $30,000 for it, and it wasn't worth $2,000. The house was dilapidated. It was gutted. All the plumbing was gone. It was on 2.5 acres, and it had free natural gas on it for the life. Yes, that's an awesome feature. And I have up here on the top of my shelf 5 natural gas heaters. that I used in my last home. And oh, I was accused of stealing those too. Those are mine. Uh, I had one person give me one. I had, or two of them. And then I had another person give me another one, and I bought the other two. So he can go say whatever the hell he wants. I get accused for a lot of stuff I don't do. But anyway, we're still looking, and I'm praying and hoping, and I'm starting to lose my faith a little more. But I've got somebody on me constantly trying to keep my spirits up, and thank you very much for that. You know who you are, uh, and thank you. Just thank you to all the people who have actually helped with the GoFundMe. I am forever grateful. I don't know if it's going to be for, or if it's going to go anywhere with that. It might help me with enough gas to make several trips if I do find a place, but it's not really a whole lot. My goal is nowhere near being reached, and at this point, all I can do is live on a hope and a prayer, because other than that, Bison Workshop is doomed to fail. And if it comes down to the point where I fail, nobody's going to get my stuff. It's that simple. I'm not going to work my ass off for 47 years just to give it to somebody else for nothing. It ain't going to happen. It's worth it for me to just destroy it and have peace of mind and get my aggression out. So it ain't no different than having a punching bag. This is going to be my punching bag. So ask my son what it's like when I get pissed off like that. I'll tell you a little story. Uh, I broke down in my Jeep one time that I was restoring. The clutch pedal had broke, and I had just bought my son a cell phone and my girlfriend a cell phone, and I had a house phone. When I called them, little did I know at the time, my girlfriend was on the phone talking to another man, cheating on me, and my son never answered the phone so I could get somebody to come and pull me back home. I ended up driving my Jeep back home with no clutch. Thank God, right in the smack dab middle of town, I was able to actually get through every stoplight without having to stop, because I would have been broke down completely. I actually had to start the Jeep in gear to get it to move. So when I got home, I walked in the house, grabbed her cell phone, grabbed my son's cell phone, grabbed the house phone, took it out on the porch, and I took a hammer to it. I had just bought them. I slammed them with a hammer, just like I did my cell phone here. I've done that to many things. I just built a guitar one time, and because I was getting screwed, I'd rather beat it than to get screwed. Yes, it's selfish. Yes, it's dumb. I don't care. Uh, when I'm under the barrel and I'm backed in a corner, I'm coming out with a vengeance. So uh, the only thing I'm going to try to keep is my four-wheeler and my trailer, uh, just in case I need my four-wheeler. If I break down on the road somewhere, wherever I end up, I'm going to need a way to get to help. So not only that, that four-wheeler is probably one of the most important items that I have besides my truck. And that's simply because I was blown away at how I got that four-wheeler. I had a buddy of mine, Jim. Well, I didn't know him at the time. Jim sent me an email and said, Bob, because he felt bad for me because I was trying to restore a four-wheeler that wasn't worth restoring. And he told me, he says, Bob, I got a Big Bear 400 here. If you want it, it's yours. Come and get it. So I went to Pennsylvania and I got it, and I put $600 just in the plastic for that thing. And I've got a lot of money in that, and it's not the money I put in it that means that much to me. It's the fact that one of my subscribers was a good person and helped me out, and I do not want to disappoint him because he was an angel that brought me that four-wheeler. So I've spent all my life wanting a four-wheeler and never could afford one. And he gave that to me, so it's got a lot of sentimental value to me. And I wouldn't get rid of that four-wheeler for nothing. Simply because it was a gift from one of my subscribers. So, I mean, that thing's practically brand new now. Brand new tires, brand new plastic, new dashboard, it's digital, speedometer, you name it. I've restored the motor, the rear end, brakes, the front end, everything, all restored. So it ain't going nowhere. So if I have to get in my truck and leave all this behind, destroyed of course, then once everything's destroyed and I know that nobody can benefit from it, I'm going to load that four-wheeler on the trailer and I'm going to drive out of here and I'm not going to look back. So anyway, this is the barrel. I've got to blue it. I've got to make one more, which is going to be the same exact process as what I just showed you. And I'm hoping that everything works out and I do have a shop somewhere else. If I do, these will be made to be offered to the public on bisonairriflesandparts.com. So, this is just showing you what's going to happen if I can find a place. So this will probably be the first project. In the meantime, I'll try to see if I can get some more barrels, and that's in the works right now. We're going to try to see if we can't get some barrels to do this for you guys. And I'm continuously trying to think of things to do to make these guns better. And I think this is going to make a big difference because now it's rifled. So now I can run slugs in this thing. I can run any 357 slug, pellet, whatever. And I can still use the darts, which I probably never will. I have no desire to use them darts. In fact, if anybody wants to trade me something for them or buy them, I might list them online because I'm never going to use them. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's just hope that the end of Bison Workshop is not coming. I got a month to figure that out. And time is ticking. Anyway, enjoy your Trump coffee. And you guys have a good one. Later.